it has always been important for me to try to think of the internet as not like bad or good, but to kind of acknowledge the all pervasiveness of it. How the device and the internet become both the thing you're trying to get away from and maybe a thing you reach for to connect. I felt like that was particularly, brought to the forefront at the beginning of the pandemic, when we were all suddenly 100% remote 100% of the time, and just like trying to deal with a whole new reality. And it really made me think a lot about what it's like to take in and then digest the information that comes to us. So I got really, I can show you, I got really interested in the dynamic that this drawing is what sort of expresses it. It's really dark. Can you see that?
I can.
I have basically been thinking about the things that filter our experience, which includes kind of our own decisions of what to pay attention to and what not to, but then kind of how we make selections in our experience of the internet, like tapping things on our phone creates a filter that then means that the information that comes to us is this, personalized, specific kind of version of the information that's out there. We'll do this. It should have good light on it. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
It's like the closest to what I was trying to say with it.
So when I'm looking at it, and it's sort of cloud-like on the other side of the phone, but when it's closer to the figure, it's more linear. I guess I'm wondering if you could talk about that. And I'm also wondering how you're looking at it, if you're looking almost like it's passing through the person, or are you looking at it as like wrapping around the person?
I think about it as being the switch from kind of the less organized cloud, or the more organically shaped shapes in the cloud, transitioning into a much more linear projection that comes out of the phone. Is thinking, probably because I do interface design, is just knowing, the amount of logic and purposeful design that goes into the interface that information goes through into, before it then is coming into the person who's taking it in. And then when it hits the head, I think it's sort of like it's being projected, and I want the head to feel like it's the container that it's going into, but it's also like an exposure, like it's like the head is exposed to all of that light. So yeah, I kind of wanted that, as opposed to, say, having it just go into the eyes, to have that idea of sort of like saturating more of the body with the actual input, because I think that is part of what I'm trying to get at, which is the degree to which our interactions with the internet affect our physical bodies. I think that's a really important part of it.
It's interesting to me that I don't know what you want to call it, what's discarded, the remnants, the poop, or like, I don't know what you want to call it, like
I call them poops.
poops. Okay. So it's all blue, I think, right? Is that?
Yeah.
I was wondering about that. Yeah,
I think that my thinking so far has been to consider the stream of energy that you could consider the stream of information coming to you from the internet as a stream of all different kinds of energies, is to regard the blue as kind of a neutral within the spectrum. And so the blue can symbolize the energy, whether that energy is positive or negative or manipulated or, you know, trying to sell you something or trying to express love to you, whatever, that those things are adding the other hues into the mix. So
can we look at them again?
you can see more sort of trials and errors. Our bodies become the filter that digests the information that we take in. So it's really just thinking about information as just like food. And so just like food, the food you take in influences how your body does, how your health is, and that the same is true with the information. And, you know, with the information as loaded and fearful and shocking as it is lately, that thinking about how the impact that has on our human bodies is like a real thing that is really important.
Yeah.
Well, I think I can show you another in the dark drawing that was kind of when I started to think about the people wrapped in quilts, but specifically what if the quilts were EMF blocking material. So this was one like that, and just kind of bringing that like not absurd function, but certainly not an everyday function that people think of yet too much. Like most people, some people are very concerned about, you know, what cell phones are doing to themselves. But I think most people are not that, it's not in their wavelength. And it's unclear to a lot of people what is sort of scientifically known about the potential effects. But I like that one just because it's just that idea of more specifically protecting the physical body from the internet as a concept is a weird, I think it's a weird and very helpful concept to think about. And I think, like, you know, if you have a stressful work day and notice your stress in your shoulders, like that's a step in that direction of being like, oh yeah, my very cerebral, totally device focused work life has just done this thing to my physical body. And I think that my consumption of the day-to-day coronavirus figures around the world has an impact on my body that I should be paying attention to, and maybe I don't need to check several times a day, kind of a thing. And then this one's another one of just like moving towards thinking of like personal protection from the internet and just